Vietnam? Oh God. Does anybody else get that stuck in their head like all the time? Hi everyone, Susan here, and welcome to KNITLIB, the podcast, my little corner of the YouTubes that's all about knitting and sewing and books and my life and all that stuff. If you are a returning viewer, hi, welcome back. It's so great to have you here. If you're a new viewer, I hope you find something here that you can connect with. This is a bit of a slightly different episode. I thought I would do something sort of fun today. It's a Saturday morning, probably about 10 o'clock or so, and I am choosing to sew today. I've had a really long 2 weeks and basically haven't had a day off from anything for almost 2 weeks until today. And I thought that I would do a radical act of self-care by sewing a new pair of pants. And that's what I'm going to do. And also give you a glimpse onto my side of the cluttered studio space that I shouldn't say cluttered. I mean, it is cluttered, but it's like it's a well-used studio space that I share with my husband, Ryan. So what you don't see is where the camera is, and that's his side, which is basically just a storage area for all of his printing stuff. But yeah, over on this side, you have my little workspace, my big table, computer where I was just recently watching Kristen of Vine Yarns, her podcast. And yeah, then I have my ironing board set out and I'm just ironing some fabric, which I'm pretty thrilled about. So yeah, I'm going to be sewing today. My goal is by the end of today, whether it is, probably will be, I'm going to take my time, and it'll probably be this evening by the time I finish them, a pair of free range slacks by Sew House 7. And I've made 2 pairs of these pants already. The first pair I made, let me go get them. I'm gonna go get the first pair I made. So the first pair of Sew House 7 pants I made are here. They're a kind of, they're high-waisted, so they sit up fairly high, like basically where my cropped sweater kind of sits. They sit up here. They have an elastic waist and front pockets, side slit pockets right here. They also have, oh, the lighting in here is terrible. I have a ring light coming from evil Amazon, but unfortunately I forgot to put the buzzer number on the order, so they tried to deliver it yesterday and I couldn't open the door for them because I wasn't here and I didn't put the buzzer number there. So it's at the courier place, but they don't open until Monday. And even then, not this Monday, because Monday, November 11th is Remembrance Day and it's a holiday, so I'm gonna have to wait. Any hoodles. These are the pants right here. They are a little, they're wide, they're not really wide legged. They're like a relaxed fit and they have a tapered leg, which I roll up. These ones, I didn't even finish the edges on this one. I just rolled them up because, you know, that's the way I roll. But this stuff is made out of a cotton linen blend that I got at my fabric store, RickRack, and I love these pants. I get lots of compliments when I wear these pants because they are a really bright tangerine orange. I really love them. So I'm going to be making another pair because I find them very work appropriate and very, like, I don't know, it's a way of, they're relaxing pants to wear, and they're kind of like wearing pajamas, but because they come up so high-waisted, they feel a bit more professional than, say, a pair of Luna pants made by Ray, which are definitely lounge pants. And the Luna pants don't come up high enough for me. I really like wearing high-waisted things, as you can tell, because my sweaters tend to be a little short. But anyway, that's Sew House 7 free range pants. I'm going to make another pair. Let me tuck these aside here. I'm gonna put them there. I'm going to make another pair today out of some fabric that I, again, picked up at RickRack, and it is a cotton, I think it might be like, I can't remember the fiber content on it. It might be cotton linen, cotton rayon, something like that, but it's a jacquard weave. So that means, let me move. That means that it has a textured, and you can totally see it. It has a textured surface to it, and it's kind of double thick because it's a jacquard weave. So that means that there is a, like, it's almost like a double weave to make it really thick. I remember when I was in art school doing a weaving class, and they talked about double weave, and I thought it was magic. I didn't quite understand how it worked, and I desperately wanted to try it, but unfortunately the math skills that I needed to figure out how to do double weave just were not happening in my head. But yeah, it's a lovely kind of caramel color, and I'm really excited about it. I think they're gonna make really great practical pants. But what I'm doing first is I'm ironing the damn thing because it's super wrinkly, and I have a feeling this fabric anyway, it's so highly textured, it's going to be kind of wrinkly regardless, which works out great because I hate ironing pants. I don't know why I keep making them out of linen, because that always requires a ton of ironing, but you know, whatever. Jessup, what are you doing? So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I will say about what I'm wearing, this is a finished object from the week before the last episode. This is the Ripple Crop Top Worsted by Jessie May, and from Jessie May Designs. And I made it out of a DK yarn from Mineville Wool Project, and it's striped. I really like the fit of it. I kind of wish I had made it a little bit longer, and also while in everyday kind of normal Susan wear, I don't mind it being this low, but when I'm at work, I don't like it to be that low, just because working with the public, I am more comfortable if it's a little higher. But I do really love the fit of it. It feels great, and it is short, and underneath it, I'm wearing another Jessie May pattern. I'm wearing the Ripple Bralette underneath, which is pretty cute. You can kind of, here, let me show you my boob. But yeah, under there. So I'm feeling nice and cozy around my chestal region, which is really nice on a day like today where it's supposed to be snowing all damn day. So yeah, what better way to experience a Saturday than to be cozy in knitwear and to sew a new pair of pants. So we're gonna do that. And I'll take you along on the journey and kind of, I don't know, share things along the way, I guess. We'll see how this goes. Jessup, this is mine. This is mine. What do you got? Let go. What do you got? Hi everyone, I have finished. This is my cat Jessup, and he gets into everything. It's just the way that he is. Get out of it. Get out of it. I have finished ironing my fabric. I just have it folded, and ow! Jesus Christ, cat, let go. I have everything down here, and he thinks it's time to play. But what I'm going to be doing is taking my pattern pieces here. I have them all put up. I usually hang them. I have them all attached with a kind of folding clip, and I hang them on my wall instead of rolling them or folding them or anything like that. So I have my pattern pieces. I'm going to cut them out on this fabric. I'm using the tabletop-ish surface that we have, which is this giant flat file cabinet, which is like, this is how deep it is, and then it's like almost as tall as me, like in terms of lengthwise, and I'm about 5'9". Yeah, so I'm going to be putting the fabric on top of here to pin it using my pins that live in this precious little jar right here that the last time that I was in Nova Scotia for Christmas, that's where my family lives, or my parents live, we went to like a color me mine type of thing, and I made a little tiny dish here. First time ever painting pottery, and I keep all of my straight pins inside of it. So, what? Yeah, that's straight pins. Yeah, no, not for you though. Not for you. And so I'm gonna be using those. I have a handy dandy chalk pen. This chalk marker pen thing, it's from Clover, and it has a tip on the top of it that's like rounded. It's almost like a little miniature rotary blade, and it is serrated. So the idea being inside there's all this chalk dust powder, and it distributes the chalk dust powder pretty evenly. I really like using these ones. I have them in blue, and this is the white one. So I'm going to be using white on this caramel colored fabric. And then I have my trusty scissors that probably need to be sharpened, but they're still doing pretty good. Singer fabric scissors. I have dreams of replacing these scissors with like big, beautiful shears, but unfortunately these are still working just fine. So I'm just gonna keep using those because there's no need to buy things that you don't need, right? And I'm gonna contend with my cat here. So yeah, I'm gonna cut out the pieces, give them another iron, and then start. The cat has gone crazy. Oh gosh. And then probably entertain the cat because he's gone nuts. He's gone nuts. Yeah. You're gone nuts. Ow. Yeah, I know. Welcome to my life. Well, that only took like a million years. I sped up that video, but truth be told, that took me about a half an hour to cut out all those damn pieces because the fabric, I forgot until I started actually cutting it, that it's actually pretty substantial fabric. And it was a little tiring on my hand to cut through 2 layers of it. But I'm very excited about how these are going to turn out because they kind of have like an animal print quality to them. And I'm always on the lookout, like I'm very cognizant of how clothes can be used to tell a story about who you are as a person, and I know my clothes definitely do. And as much as I love dressing, you know, really colorfully and with pattern clashing and all of this stuff and really fun, wearing crop tops and all that stuff, truth be told, going forward, I don't know what my job situation is going to be in the next, like, say 3 years. I might be in a more leadership position at work. One can hope. And if that's the case, then I need to be dressing somewhat the part. And this is not to say I'm going to be wearing blazers all the time. The blazers are pretty cool, but dressing down necessarily. I just want to finesse and be a bit more considered about what I'm putting together. So if I am doing a neutral like this camel color, I can put my little Susan spin on it by making sure it is a textured pattern animal print like this. So yeah, I'm thrilled about that. I have all the pieces cut out save for, I think I just need to cut out the little bit of pocket facing that is like the tiniest amount. I'm going to pull up the instructions on my computer there, or maybe I'll just pull it up on my laptop and start sewing. So I know the first thing that I have to do with these pattern pieces is that I will, Kitty, get down, get off the counter, get down. Sorry about that. I know that I'm going to have to finish the edges of all the pieces. I do not have a serger, and that's okay. I can survive without a serger because my computer, my sewing machine comes with a wide variety of options on it. You can kind of see the sewing machine is like right there-ish. The cat keeps banging into it. I need to make a cover for it. One of these days I'll do that. Any hoodles. It comes with a bunch of different stitch options and also came with a bunch of different feet. And one of the feet that I have is an overlock foot. And that's how I'm able to finish the edges of all of my projects and all that stuff so that they don't fray. I use the overlock foot, which kind of mimics what a overlocker or serger would do. So it would like kind of basically put like a straight stitch down the edge, but then in addition to doing like a zigzag stitch over the edge to kind of capture the edge of the fabric to prevent fraying. So yeah, the only downside is making a pair of pants when you have really long legs like I do means that you have to go through a whole lot of thread to finish the edges. But yeah, I'm stoked. The fabric just feels so great, and I think that these are going to be perfect winter pants because they're substantial. It has, like, you can kind of see just like, I don't know. Can you tell how thick this is? It's like thick fabric. Anyway, I am thrilled. So let's go. Let's do this. Okie dokie, so I am ready to start sewing, and the first thing that I have to do, as I mentioned previously, is that I have to finish the edges on a lot of these pattern pieces, so says the instructions. So the first thing I'm doing is finishing the edges of the pocket facing and part of the pockets. And then I'm going to be doing some stay stitching and all that stuff. I mentioned I do not have a serger, so that means I use an overlock foot, which looks like that. Yeah, it has like, it's kind of a weird looking foot, and it has, let me see if I can get this to focus a little bit. Not really. But it's kind of uneven and has a little piece of metal on there that on mine it's kind of bent a bit, but it still works fine. And that's to help with the overlock stitch, which looks like that. So it's kind of similar to like serging, but not quite. I mean, it's fine. It just means it takes like a lot of time for me to overlock all of my pattern pieces. The pair of pants is not too bad. I know when I make dresses, it's a lot of just like running the edges through the machine to finish the edges, and that takes forever and a day. Yeah, the machine I'm using is a Brother. It is a Brother CE8080, and it's a like computerized, they call it like computerized sewing machine. I don't know. I got it at Walmart like not that long ago, I think I probably got it at Walmart. I've been living back in Calgary now for almost 10 years, so it would probably be like 8 years ago or something like that when I purchased the sewing machine, and it served me well. I clean it from time to time, and it has so many, like right here it lists all of the different like stitch options. I have never used all of them or any of them. I mostly just use a straight stitch, zigzag from time to time, but the overlock stitch for sure. And also it has a whole variety of buttonhole stitches, which I find very useful for making buttonholes. So I love that. Yeah, so we're going to be finishing the edges of these pockets and then getting the sewing going. And I'll take a break halfway through, I think, and share some other knitting stuff as I take a break, I guess. But I'm on the most recent episode of the Vine podcast, and loving all of Kristen's purchases and stuff that she picked up from the New England Fiber Festival, which seems pretty neat. I think that festival looks like more my bag than a Rhinebeck festival. Someone had asked me on Instagram once, I think it was just recently, I had like an Ask Me Anything type of deal up there, and had asked if I had ever been to Rhinebeck or if I ever want to go, and my answer is always just like no and no. I find Rhinebeck really overwhelming from all of the footage I've seen of it from vloggers that have gone. It just seems like too much. And as much of an extrovert that I am, giant crowds of people when I'm not in control of them. God, that sounds like menacing. But giant crowds of people do freak me out if I'm not there for a reason. If I'm just there as a customer, I don't really enjoy it. If I was there as a vendor, if I was there working, that's a different story. I've always felt that way about conferences and festivals and stuff like that, because most of the time when I go to festivals like that, I am vending in some way. Where not necessarily selling my own stuff, but like I've gone to different conferences festivals where I'm there as part of my day job, which is working for the public library, and that stuff's fun. But just being there as a regular person, I just don't like it. I need to have a purpose there. So if you'd like to see me at Rhinebeck, how about hire me to work in your booth, and then I will like it a little bit more. I might be more enticed to go if you pay me to go. Isn't that true for anything though? Anyway, I'm like looking at the cat on the other side of the window right here. This is kind of like technically a second bedroom den type of thing, and we have French doors that never open. We don't open them. I just hold all of hang my sewing patterns and stuff overside, and I'm just watching the cat like knead the Afghan that's on the couch, and he looks like he's having a grand time. So we're just gonna let him meow and knead away and get a little bit of joy in his life, I guess. I don't know. Kitties gotta do what they gotta do. I am just putting the pockets in these pants right now, and the instructions are pretty great. The front pocket, I don't do back pockets on these pants just because I feel like I don't need them. I just need front pockets. But it's so funny, I'm like lining up the pocket lining and everything for these pants, and I have to match the notches and all that stuff. This pattern, I can't speak highly enough about the free range slacks pattern because the instructions are really great, and the pattern itself is really easy to sew. So if you're a confident beginner, advanced beginner, which is definitely what I feel I am, it's a great pattern to get your fingers wet with making a pair of pants. But I was just having this thought as I'm matching up the notches on the fabric, and to when I first started sewing, which was probably close to 20 years ago now when I first started sewing, and I had just started art school, I guess. I don't know, I was in my undergrad, I know that. And I have no formal training in sewing. Despite going to art school and getting a degree in fiber art, there were no classes on learning how to sew or garment making classes or anything like that. What I went to school to do is definitely fine art. It wasn't necessarily craft, it was fine art. So doing sculpture and stuff like that, painting and drawing. Actually, never painting. I've never painted anything in my life. Drawing, yes, but anyway, I digress. So when I was sewing, I remember I wanted to sew a dress out of some fabric that I had printed myself. I was really into doing registered repeats on fabric and printing my own yardage, and I really thought that was something that I was going to do with my life after I finished school because I was pretty good at it. But alas, other things happen. And I remember getting one of the big four patterns. I think it was like a butterick pattern or something, and sewing this sort of, I think it was a sleeveless dress or something, I don't even remember, but a really easy dress, and just completely ignoring all of the notches on the pattern where they have the notches there, and I'd be like, yeah, whatever, I don't need those, you just line them up and sew it and whatever, and everything always fit fine-ish. It was always sort of slightly awkward, And I did a class at RickRack, the fabric store that I go to all the time, which is the sister store to the yarn shop that I work at and my other yarny life. And I did a workshop there. They were pilot testing new workshops because they had just opened the shop, and I wanted to make a pair of pants. And so Sarah, who, I don't know Sarah if you watch my YouTube channel. I don't know if you do. Hi! If you don't, you should go follow her on Instagram, and I'll put her little handle like here in the light bulb or something. You can follow her on Instagram. She's an amazing sewist and an amazing teacher, and I learned so much in the 2 days that I was with her, learning how to make a pair of pants and how she would, teach us how to make the notches in as we're cutting out our pattern pieces so that things line up. And I had this moment where I'm like, oh, that's what that's for. That's what all of those notches are for, to match everything up so you're not just kind of approximating. Like, duh. Anyway, that's my thought as I'm putting these pockets in. I'm really loving how these pockets are going to look. I'm going to hold it up. They're going to be, look how slick that's going to be. It's going to be so cute. Slanted pockets. I'm really loving this fabric. And what's really cool about this fabric is, I had mentioned before, it's like a double weave. So that means, let me grab another pocket here. See if I can show you kind of what I mean. Is that the fabric itself is kind of double thick. Maybe I can't really do it on this. You can kind of see. Can you, I don't know. I need a better, instead of using my phone camera all the time, my other vlogging camera kind of died. Here. So you can kind of separate the fabric. Can you see that? Because the way that it's woven, the warp and the weft threads kind of switch every so often, and that's what causes this kind of quilting action. So that also means too that this is going to be forever kind of wrinkly, because the shrink rates, depending on how it's woven, is going to be a little different. So I really like that. And this is going to be double thick, and double the thickness, double the fun is what I say now. I need another cup of coffee. I'm going to keep sewing these pockets. I finished watching my podcasts for right now, just because I do need to focus on what I'm doing. So I am listening to a playlist on Spotify. I think it's the afternoon acoustic playlist. I kind of like that because I'm a typical like hipster millennial person. I learned the other day that I am technically a millennial. Are you a millennial? I always thought that I was like that weird in-betweeny one between millennial and Gen X. I was like that in-between because I was born in 82. But apparently I'm a millennial. Apparently. So of course I'm listening to slightly hipster folky music that you would hear in a third wave coffee shop while wearing overalls and thinking about poetry. No, that's not what I do. Sometimes I do. But I'm going to get back to sewing before this goes on to this really weird rant. Okay, it is early afternoon, like 1 o'clock. And again, I am just taking my time with sewing, and it's really fun. But I have discovered that I am hungry. So I am going to make some lunch and listen to my audiobook and eat my lunch. I think I'm just going to do a lazy lunch today. I think I'm just going to make some sweet potato fries. and eat those, and maybe a sandwich. We'll see how hungry I am. I might save my sandwich for later. But yeah, I am going to do that and listen to my audiobook. For those that listen to audiobooks, or maybe you're a regular paper book format reader, the book that I'm reading is the second book in the Bareknuckle Bastards series by Sarah MacLean. It is historical romance, and it's so good. It's totally like giggle worthy because it is very much over the top. And the second book in the series is called Brazen and the Beast, and it follows the love story of one of the Bareknuckle bastards, who are a series of brothers and one sister. And this one focuses on the second brother, who goes by the name Beast, because he's a beast on the streets and a beast in the sacks. In the sack. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it, and it's definitely what I find about reading romance novels. If you're not a romance novel reader, that's fine. More power to you. But I think what makes romance novels so good to me, anyway, why I love them, is because it definitely brings me to I can suspend my disbelief a little bit. I can get sucked into this love story, and I'm a sucker for romance stuff, no matter what it is. And I really love the excitement, the drama that happens between relationships, whether it doesn't matter what kind of relationship it is. Well, romantic relationship anyway. I really enjoy them, and it is kind of fun to kind of like blush a little bit during the love scenes. And I have to say, Sarah MacLean, she is really good at writing love scenes that are very respectful of women, and yeah, they're a little steamy. So that's what I'm going to do while making sweet potato fries and then eating those sweet potato fries. So yes, and then we're going to get back to some sewing. So that's my book recommendation for you for this week is, yeah, Brazen and the Beast, book 2 of the Bareknuckle Bastard series by Sarah MacLean. Yeah.